Right, you lot. Welcome to Hey Scotty, only Q&A show where your questions get answered with brutal honesty, Yorkshire sarcasm, and absolutely no corporate bollocks. You send them in, I tear them apart. No filters, no fake hype, just straight shots and savage truth. If you're after safe spaces, influencer ass kissing, or polished PR waffle, wrong bloody channel. Here we roast questions, mock madness, and occasionally point out that gaming's in a bigger state than a Battlefield launch day. I'm not a saint. Hell, half the time I'm barely house trained, but at least I know bullshit when I smell it. Let's get stuck in. This first question comes from Silverbullet3021, and he asks, what's your opinion on new Oblivion Remaster? I find myself going back to it a lot lately since COD and most of my usual games aren't doing it for me. Right then, brutal honesty time. I've never been a massive fan of Elder Scrolls games, mate. Love worlds, love lore, love big sprawling fantasy bollocks. But gameplay feels like swinging a baguette at people underwater. I get why folks are into it. Proper escapism, stories you can sink your teeth into, all that good stuff. But for me, it's like trying to fight a war while wearing oven mitts. Not really my thing. That said, lately, I've been giving more stuff a go outside my usual comfort zone. Mostly cause modern games have got solar a wet paper bag. And seeing as I get Game Pass for free, cheers Microsoft, it won't cost me a bloody penny to install it. Mess about for a few hours. Probably get shouted at by some cheese-loving Daedric prince. Yeah, mate, maybe I'll probably dive into Oblivion and see if it hits differently now that gaming industry's turned into a smouldering binfire. What about you lot? Is anyone else going back to old classics cause modern gaming feels about as rewarding as punching fog? Light up comments. Let's hear what you're playing instead of today's overpriced digital landfill. Cheers for the question, mate. This next question comes from Pyro Friendly Ass and it's 91.95. And he asks, Hey Scotty, what's your opinion on Delta Force? Because I, for one, have lost all hype waiting. Mate, can't blame you one bit. At this point, waiting for Delta Force console release feels like waiting for Half-Life 3 while chained to a radiator. You start off excited, buzzing, full of hope, then 6 months later you just sat there, crusty, dead-eyed, wondering why you ever gave a toss. And it's not like PC version gave anyone much to hold on to either. I played it, and it were rougher than pub toilet on a Saturday night. SBMM was strangling fun out of matches. Chaos felt forced, and it had grim whiff for a game built by corporate metrics first and players second. Not to mention, maps felt like they'd been nicked from a bad Battlefield clone in 2013. Battlefield 2042 pulled the same dumb trick. Let's shove SBMM where it don't belong and act confused when chaos turns clinical. They're loosening it up a bit for Nexton, finally, but Delta Force feels like it's stuck between pretending to be old school tactical chaos and modern engagement optimised bullshit. And while they're dithering, hype's already rotting in the sun. Honestly mate, longer the delay console launch, colder corpse gets. By the time it drops, only ones left caring will be the same sad bastards who still think Warface is going to make a comeback. So yeah, you lost hype? Good, means you've still got standards. What about the rest of you lot? Is anyone still clinging on to hope for Delta Force? Or are you already planning its bloody funeral? Light up comments, let's hear it. Cheers for the question, mate. Next question comes from your boy Ricky123, and he asks, in FPS games, do you like super in-depth gunsmiths with every single attachment being customisable like Delta Force's crazy customizability? Or do you like a more COD-style approach where you can pick 5 attachments from a limited pool of options? If you think COD style is better, do you like a gunsmith with only upsides? Kinda like Black Ops 6 gunsmith. Or where there are upsides and downsides like Modern Warfare 2022 gunsmith? Right, Ricky, buckle up mate, cause it's dirty true. I don't give a toss about building bloody Death Star out of an AK-47. I'm not a min-maxer. I'm a filthy old school grunt. Give me a red dot sight, a suppressor, and a bigger mag, job's a bloody good 'un. If I'm feeling fancy, maybe I'll slap on a grip too, just so my bullets don't hit everything except bastards I'm aiming at. This obsession with ultra mega hyper detailed gunsmithing, another example of devs confusing choice with chore. Oh look! You can adjust hexagonal micropiston tensioner on left nut to underbarrel stabilizer. Mate, I just want to shoot enemy, not apply for a mechanical engineering degree mid-March. Delta Force's kitchen sink approach? Fun for people who think real war is just Excel spreadsheets with bullets. But rest of us, it's a giant fuck-off wall of menus that turns every loadout screen into hostage negotiation. COD style, limiting you to 5 attachments. Honestly good. Force a few meaningful choices, keep match rolling, and stop turning every lobby into a bloody IKEA assembly tutorial. And between two COD Gunsmith types you mentioned, Black Ops 6's all-upside system or Modern Warfare 2022's upside-downside wankery? Give me Black Ops 6 every time. If I wanted to micromanage my gun until it collapses under weight of trade-offs, I'd go play Escape from Tarkov and grow a depression beard. Upsides only, keeps gameplay fun. Downsides for the sake of it is just a smug game designer standing over your shoulder whispering, well actually, in real life, you'd lose 3% movement speed if you added that sight. Yeah mate, and in real life I'd be in therapy after my first firefight. It's a fucking game. Let me be action hero. See, it's rally cry for everyone out there. Gunsmiths should empower gameplay, not chain it to a bloody spreadsheet. We're not accountants. We're supposed to be digital murder robos with style. But what about you lot? Do you want more meaningful quick picks? Or do you secretly love tweaking your digital guns until your soul evaporates? Sound off below. And if your gun build looks like a Swiss Army knife mating with a lawnmower, I will be judging you. Cheers for that question, mate. Next question comes from Stalemate XVIIJ Mercury, and he asks, why are games so focused with more realism? Lack of optimisation for AAA titles is insane. My rig from 2017 is becoming minimum requirements for some games already. Mate, pull up it, yeah, cause you bang on. And it's about to get uglier than Ubisoft's server room during a DDoS attack. Brutal truth is, it's gamers themselves that lit this dumpster fire. Specifically, PC Master Race types. You know what ones? Foaming at mouth over every new screenshot, crying that if a game doesn't have 16 layers of ray tracing and virtual poor physics, it's suddenly unplayable. These are graphics snob, walking, talking, but can it run crisis memes who genuinely believe if a game isn't cooked at 4K Ultra with DLSS 4.0 and AI enhanced shadows, it might as well be made out of stick figures. And guess what happens when loudest, whiniest part of the community demands more realism, more fidelity, more immersion? Suits at EA, Ubisoft, Activision, the seat $, the greenlight tech demo monstrosities disguised as games, throwing in every shiny visual gimmick possible, while gameplay itself gets hollowed out like a chocolate Easter egg. Meanwhile, optimisation gets treated like an optional side quest. Why fix bloody code when you can just slap recommended specs 4080 Ti and 32GB of RAM on Steam page and call it a day? Your 2017 rig, mate? It's not dying cause it's old, dying cause industry stopped caring about efficiency the moment they realised they could sell people graphics fetish instead of a finished game. We used to get games that ran like butter on a microwave powered by hamster. Nah, they'll have a 30-second walking sim with ultra-dynamic sweat reflections that brings a 3,000 quid rig to its knees faster than a YouTuber getting demonetised. And here's kicker. Most of these realistic games still look like shit in motion because animation, physics and gameplay flow are being traded for static screenshots. It's fake realism. It's showroom realism. It's bollocks. So here's another call to arms. Stop chasing shiny. Start demanding actual bloody games again. But what about you lot? Anyone else sick of needing NASA supercomputer just to play what amounts to a glorified tech demo with 5 hours of gameplay? Light up in comments. Bonus points if you're naming and shame worst optimised AAA garbage fires you've seen lately. Cheers for the question, mate. This question comes from Ferkinell, and he asks, Hey Scotty, last year you and some other content creators were joining together to play XDefiant community games. My question is, would same people join Revolution? Honestly, mate, I really don't know. And truth be told, I'm not holding my breath. Thing is, Revolution ain't just turning up for a few community games and buggering off when wind changes. It's a choice, not a trend, not a networking move. A real choice to stand against bullshit that's rotting this industry from inside out. When it came to XDefiant, I were hoping we could rally troops for one last community send-off. One final bloody middle finger before Ubisoft put poor bastard down. Jack were ready to go. Rest? I couldn't tell you. I'll be here either way. Uploading XDefiant send-off videos, still swinging, Still calling out corporate bollocks while most content creators are busy rehearsing the next apology video for shilling whatever live service corp stumbles through door next? Revolution ain't about who's loudest when it's easy. It's about who's still fighting when it's bloody inconvenient. See, it's question for the rest of you lot. Are you ready to join real gaming revolution? Or are you just window shopping until next type train rolls in? Drop your answers below. Let's see who's really in this footlong hole. Cheers for the question, mate. There you go, folks. Bitter honest answers, dash of Yorkshire venom, and enough sarcasm to power a small country. If you made it through that carnage and still want more, join Discord, follow on X, consider a channel membership. Links are all down in the description. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and leave your comments and questions below. Might just feature on my channel. I'll see you next time, you magnificent.